sun. Let's get it. Oh, yeah.
Good evening here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel. I'm sure you're tuning in wanting to watch Central and Holmen, the varsity game. The JV ran long, which is why we haven't started our post game. Our pregame. I'm Joel McCall. Alongside me is going to be Nami George. We're going to take another break here in a little bit because we're not going to talk for this long. There's still plenty of warm up to be had by the volleyball girls down on the floor. We are in Holmen tonight, a rare road game for us, road match, and looking forward to it. It is the rated Holmen Vikings taking on Central, and we're going to get to the warm-up and the play-by-play here shortly, but I just wanted to make sure to come on, let you know that we are going to be going with our warm-up and everything, but we're running behind because JV went long. It did go, they played all 3 sets, and they didn't cut it off at 15 in that third set. It actually went even longer than that, so that's why we're behind. So, Nami, anything else to add before we kick off? Well, no, you can't because I didn't turn your microphone on. Perfect. We'll run like that all night. We'll come back here in just a few minutes and get ready for our warm-up. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel. I'm Joel McCall alongside me, Nami George. We're up in Holmen tonight as the Central Riverhawks come in with a 4-7 record, 1-2 in the Mississippi Valley Conference after their big win against Toma on Tuesday night against the number 7 in Division I, the Holmen Vikings, who have a record of 10-1, 4-0 in the conference. Their head coaches, Kelly Grabowinski, her 10th year in the program. This is actually her second year as head coach. For Haley Williams on the other side, the Central Riverhawks, this is her 4th year. I know it's kind of different. We're on the road. Here we are. We thank the Holmen AD and everybody else that allowed us to come in here tonight because we've been shut down once or twice so far this year on doing road stuff. So we certainly appreciate the hospitality that we have received, and especially the internet that we got and the spot for tonight. Nami, let's get into things. First of all, what a match we had on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was exciting, and we talked about the important. By the way, thank you for turning my mic on. We talked about we talked about the fact that the Riverhawks needed to win that game to have some momentum to bring in here against a really good Holmen team. They did that. They did the job. They have some momentum. They were feeling pretty good. I talked to some of the girls in school the last couple days. They were excited about that win, and they were excited about the challenge that lies before them today.
Nami already got a cue from Dana, says sounds good. I am going to pot you up just a little bit more because I think you're a little quiet.
That's right. The people want to hear me.
No, they don't. For the not about volleyball anyway. Tomorrow night they might want to hear you for football. What a match we had on Tuesday night between Central and Toma. The Riverhawks got down 1-0 after a back-and-forth set. One, only to fire back and win in a deciding fashion, 3-1. Scores, 21-25. Then 25-18, 18, and 16. I'm telling you, the girls played about as good as I've seen in getting their first, I didn't even know this, that was their first Mississippi Valley Conference win, home win that is, since September 16, 2021
Wow.
versus Logan. So that is a huge monkey off the back for the Central Riverhawks. What is going on down by the bench, too? Looks like there's
Somebody get hurt?
Oh, boy, we don't want to see that. Well, senior Ruby Gerhard better not be her. She had a big night against Toma, 12 kills, 222 hitting efficiency, while Leah Shield overcame a slow start to finish with 8 kills. We knew this Central offense would come around as there's plenty of talent up there. Tonight, it's about having all of them make some plays because they're going to need it. Holmen's a challenge. It's a big challenge, and the Riverhawks up front, every hitter's got to come away with some good quality efficiency.
Yeah, we've seen flashes from almost every player that plays for this varsity team where they can be really, really good. They need to bring that all tonight. Every one of them has to play the best that they can possibly play for us to have a chance here on the road against a really good Holmen team.
Oh, we're perfect. See, that was Holmen's half, and now we got Central out there. So we timed it about right. I'm so happy Laurel Erickson got a chance to come up on Tuesday night. For one, I love watching her do the dirty work on the back row. She's the libero. And two, I can never seem to highlight her enough since I don't keep track of digs. It's too much. I can't keep track. She finished Tuesday night with 14 more, and Erickson is third in the Mississippi Valley Conference when it comes to digs. The Riverhawks' whole back row will be tested tonight with the Vikings heavy hitters. Erickson, we saw growth from her last year, and tonight she really has to be the vocal leader, put the defense in the right positions because the Holmen Vikings are going to attack every angle known on the hardwood.
Yeah, and she should be in a position now where she feels comfortable with this team. Remember, she got brought up last year early on in the season, got a lot of varsity experience. That's why you do that as a coach, so that when these big moments come like this, she's not just, all of a sudden a deer in headlights. She's ready for this moment.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody better have deer in the headlights because otherwise they're going to have a very slow start.
Yep,
and they could get rocked out of this gym immediately. And we have some stats on Holmen that I'm going to get to in just a moment. The one flaw I witnessed Tuesday, Central's serve receive, especially in set one. I know you weren't there at that time. Nami, you were doing other things, but Holmen is going to challenge the Riverhawks' first touch. If serve receive becomes an issue again, I'm not sure the Riverhawks will be able to shake it.
Yeah, you can't. You have to make good passes. You have to give your setter something they can work with so we can get it to our big hitters. You cannot have shank passes.
And my question of the night for the Central Riverhawks, can Central's best attribute, blocking, be able to slow down Holmen's front line? Blocking has been a huge plus for the Riverhawks this season. A freshman like Crawford, Brixton up front, Gearhart's helping. Freed had a few the other night. They all have to get touches to help that back row, and a couple of block points would certainly go a long way.
I think that's what makes this matchup so intriguing. It's really strength on strength. Strength of the Holmen is their hitters. Strength of Central is their blocking on defense. So we'll see, who gets the upper hand tonight.
And watch that tricky setter on the Holmen Viking side. And we're going to talk about McCardle in just a second. Holmen won their 4th sweep in the Mississippi Valley Conference of the season Tuesday night over Sparta. Scores there 25-16, 13, and 7 was the final. The Vikings service line really helped out with 11 aces, 3 from Klein, Olson, and Casey. All 3 of them had 3 aces apiece, while it was a well-balanced attack up front totaling 30 kills. And I noticed in the box score, and a lot of the wins that Holmen has had in the box score, it hasn't been Izzy Jar with 15. It's everybody contributes up front, and so that's why they're so good, because they can come at you from every which way. The most impressive thing to me is in those 4 wins for Holmen in the Mississippi Valley Conference, opponents have scored 20 or more twice in 12 sets. This is a juggernaut.
So you're not just talking about winning, you're talking about domination. I think I saw too in your notes that they have not lost a set in conference play yet.
Correct.
Not one team has gotten a set.
No, they're all sweeps.
Tonight would be a good night for that.
They're all sweeps. It starts up front with senior Izzy Jar. The Viking is just crushing things in the middle of this lineup, and teams can't seem to slow her down. Jar and setter senior Raina McCardle are the best combo in the Mississippi Valley Conference. You can come at me with it if you want, if you have somebody else in mind, but I'm sorry, but that's probably the best combo in the MVC, at least in this humble broadcaster's opinion. McCardle knows where to put the ball for all these Holmen hitters, including the newcomer, Charlie Casey. In her second year in varsity, because she did play last year, but sparingly, the sophomore outside is making the most of her opportunities. Holmen is senior dominated. You have Jar, McCardle, Melissa Hoff, and Lydia Olson. However, Casey and fellow sophomore libero Macy Klein are going to be tough to handle the next few years. Klein in the back has 155 digs. She actually is second in the MVC in digs department, with Erickson on the other side for Central. By comparison, Klein 155, Erickson 131. And the same amount of games, too, by the way. And with McCardle, her assists on the season is just magnificent. 213 already on the year. She's just so good. And when you can watch a setter do their thing, it is a lot of fun to watch. I've always, and I'll do it again, Dana will be mad at me for bringing in a different sport, but the setter is the quarterback. Yep. The hitters up front are the wide receivers, and that is who you have to fit into the mold of your offense, is that setter has to keep everybody else happy.
And don't you think that's for every team that's ranked high in the state? Every team that's ranked high in the state, I pretty much guarantee you has a really fantastic setter. That's really the key to the whole offense for any volleyball team.
Dana just mentioned to me, I don't know if we've seen it yet, we are now over 1,000 subscribers to the Central YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. The one blemish on Holmen was at Appleton tournament. They lost to Bayport 1-2, or 2-1, whatever. You understand that Holmen lost that tournament match. You got it, right?
I got it.
Okay, 1-2. Not the 1-2 punch. The Vikings won the first set pretty easily, 25-15. Bayport responded, winning 25-12 and finished 15-10. How did Bayport do it? Well, Holmen's front line finished with a negative hitting efficiency. They had 25 errors, while the Pirates only had 14. It will take that kind of effort from the Riverhawks to pull off a win over this rated Division I team.
Yeah, and like you talked about, our blocking is our strength. If we can get some blocks on those hitters, maybe you start putting a little pressure on this ranked team. And, you come in here and you steal a set or something, there's no pressure. Ruby talked about it the other day on our interview. No pressure on the Riverhawks. You're not supposed to come in here and win. There's no pressure on you. You come in here, you play the best you can. You put pressure on Holmen, you win a set. Who knows what can happen? Right. Those hitters might start tensing up a little bit. They might start trying to do too much. Crazier things have happened in sports.
My question of the night for Holmen, can Holmen serve throw off Central's offense? We saw that issue versus Toma. And with the Holmen Vikings and how good they are on the serve end of things, we mentioned about how serve percentage And efficiency at the service line for the Riverhawks, 861. Holmen on the other side, 915. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes at that service line.
Yep. And so, yeah, you have to make good passes. I think we talked about off the air, but we were talking about to have a chance tonight, everybody needs to play their best game, and we'll see if the Riverhawks can answer the bell.
It's got to be everyone involved. I'm sure they're going to have the national anthem too, as they've got their PA started up. We have starters. Well, I have guesses of starters for the Riverhawks. I wasn't actually able to snag Williams before the match, but I am going to give a quick shout out to, you have that program in front of you. What'd you do with it? Oh, here you go. See, you grab one and then you lose it.
You didn't want it.
Did they put them in here? That's the JV. Nikki Rose. I'm going to give a shout out to the Holmen assistant coach. Grabowinski was not down at the scores table when I went down there to get that. Nikki Rose and I had a really nice conversation. She gave me the starters for tonight. They're having the national anthem. All right, national anthem over with. Let's talk starters. Trying to make sure I see everyone out there that I assume was going to start for the for the Riverhawks. Oh yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't see any shockers.
Nope, me neither. Junior number 1, Sierra Freed. She'll play setter plus DS. Ella Crawford, number 3, freshman middle blocker, outside hitter. Gearhart is actually not out there, so they might be receiving first. So Ruby Gerhardt, senior, you're going to see her right away anyway. She's one of the captains. She's actually not out there right now, though. Number 7, Alyssa Brixon, senior, middle blocker. She stands at 6 foot. Number 8, Aaliyah Shield, junior, outside right side. And I saw Addison Zazama Nauman, the freshman setter, and then number 17, Laurel Erickson, junior. She is the libero wearing the red jersey on your screen. So the Central Riverhawks, as I mentioned, head coach Haley Williams. Thank her for all the stuff that she's been doing for us as well. Keys tonight, I do have the Riverhawks keys, don't have the Vikings, but keep constant energy, positive presence on the court. Got to finish, serve, receive has to be strong.
Yeah, Coach Williams knows the serve receive is an issue, and against a team like this, that's not going to help you at all. Going to have to be on point tonight.
And then before I get to Holmen, actually they're going to switch over to Holmen. Go ahead, Ray, swing her over. For the Holmen Vikings then, and the head coach Kelly Grabowinski. Number 1, senior middle hitter, 5'11", Izzy Jar. Number 2, sophomore outside, actually take that back. Number 4, Charlie Casey, senior outside, 6 foot. Number 9, Lydia Olson, senior outside. She stands at 5'9". Setter, senior, 5'9". Number 10, Raina McCardle. Number 12, Hadley Teff is a sophomore middle. She stands at 5'10". 14, Melissa Hoff is a senior middle at 6'1". And then the libero is that sophomore, number 2, Macy Klein. Coming in at a record of 10-1, 4-0 in conference play are the Holmen Vikings.
Those Is that Edie Weezy that's in Ruby's spot right now as they're doing serve receive?
Yes.
Number 10?
Yeah, number 10 is out there. Yeah, I forgot about Edie Weezy.
Yep.
And then the other thing tonight is Mississippi Valley games. The Spartans at Onalaska, and Logan is at Toma. For the Mississippi Valley Conference, tonight, if you want to hear live play-by-play, this would be the only broadcast where you get live play-by-play for Mississippi Valley Conference volleyball.
I saw on Mr. Ambrose's Twitter, he thinks it might be one of the only ones in Wisconsin. Only broadcast of high school volleyball.
Tonight?
Anywhere. He said one of the few, if any, or something, places you can find, or one of the few, or maybe only spot you can find play-by-play volleyball on a high school YouTube channel.
Well, Aquinas did have a play-by-play guy the other night.
Did they?
So I think it might be Aquinas and us, and that's it. But as you have alluded to, a lot of the stuff on Aquinas goes to the radio, too.
Yep.
So it's kind of a dual thing.
Yeah, I don't know what their setup is, because they do have a YouTube, don't they?
Their booster club does. I couldn't find it the other night. I searched and searched to try and find that broadcast with the girls when Central was there last Thursday, because I was at that game. So it'll be serve-receive. Macy Klein coming in to serve for Holmen. Erickson in the back with Freed, as well as Shield. And away we go with the Mississippi Valley Conference match.
Sideways, issue right away.
Nauman got it up, and then Erickson got it over. Touched right away by Olson. And the curl way off the mark for Izzy Jar. Nauman sets. Far side Freed through the block. Good play by Klein to get it up. Back set. And through the block, a kill for Lydia Olson in the back. Got it past Brixton up front.
That first touch so important. Got to make a good pass. Get it to your setter.
Can I sound egotistical for a moment and say this is the best volleyball broadcast you'll find in the state?
Oh, we knew that already.
Yeah. And Klein with the ace for Holmen. I'll keep track of ties throughout the match.
How about that? The Holmen student section doing the I Believe We Will Win chant. 2-0 in the first set.
Yeah, that's a little early. Erickson on the bump. Nauman had to save, but into the net. Actually, a lift, too. 3-0. So right away, we're seeing serve-receive an issue for the Riverhawks.
You got to believe that we put what Coach Williams believes is our best three passers back there. We knew we were getting the receive first.
Right. Jump serve by Klein. Played over to Freed. Nauman sets. Weezy way away from the net. And touched by Olson first. McCardle goes to the far side to Casey. Blasts it off. Erickson got the touch. Free ball up and over.
Oh.
Actually, it didn't touch anything. Ooh.
Can it not go through that? I don't know.
It must not be able to go through the netting.
It actually went up and over the divider. Did not touch anything, I don't think.
No, it didn't. It was clean. 4-0 though. Not a good start for the Riverhawks. And Holmen, in a lot of their matches, they seem to get stronger as time goes on. That might have been out, but touched anyway. No kill. Nauman sets for Freed, still away from the front. Olson on the bump, clean. McCardle, far side, big swing. Staying alive, Brixton up and over the block, played by Klein. Set in the middle, hard hit, Izzy Jar. Welcome to the party for her, and she has her first kill. Olson also has one. They need a side out due to the Central Riverhawks.
And the other problem with not getting a side out here, Ruby is still sitting on the bench. One of your best front row players can't get in because we can't get the serve back.
Correct. Klein's not doing anything too, and Freed through the block. Klein on her serve wasn't doing anything real, out of the norm, but she did have some power. It might be the spin more than anything else. There's Gearhard back in for the first, in for the first time. Freed at the service line, comes across, touched first by Klein. Set and actually just punched over by Casey, playing in the middle. Gearhard going to get her first attack. Comes off the heel. Far side for Casey, up and over. Erickson on the pass. Freed sets middle. Brixton blocked up front by Jar. And so Jar coming away with a solo. 6-1.
Central not able to get any real good swings on that. The sets are away from the net, forcing the hitters to have to kind of roll it over instead of be able to swing.
sophomore defensive specialist McKenna McHugh. And the serve, Gearhard. Another away from the net. These sets are coming and maybe at the 10-foot line if they're lucky. Too far away, 7-1.
Maybe a little bit of nerves here for Central facing this high-powered offense.
Right. Freed and just pushed across by Weezy. And you can see how much scrambling that for Casey into the net. But you can tell the Riverhawks are scramble. It's like a drill every time to try and get something up and over. Williams comes out and talks to Brixton. It's Hunt to serve. And you can't be doing that either, especially for Hunt, who really has not had that many service errors all throughout the season thus far.
One of the better servers for sure. Calm down, get it together.
Right. Jump serve for Casey. Freed sets for Shield, and that works around. Change up. I guess that's what I call it.
She did that a lot against Toma, too. Just
the
off-speed stuff really messes up the opposing blockers.
Well, and if you don't have somebody at the 10-foot line behind your two blockers, you're really never going to get to that.
Right.
8-3. Brixton serving. Klein with the up. Far side. This is Olsen. And through the block gets the kill.
So, Joel, help me with this. Our blockers are there. That's happened a couple times now. Why aren't we getting the blocks?
A lot of it has to do with where their hands are. It's a positioning of their hands, and if you're not cupping just right, that ball's going to get knocked right off, and it could be coming off their wrist, too, and going straight down.
True.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but that's usually a tall tale sign. Shield, good hit there, but a nice dig by Hewlett. To the back, Hunt was there. Gearhard just has to roll it off. That was actually not a great block by Holmen. They should have let that go as Shield gets another chance and puts her down.
No tip on that one. Two big swings for Shield on that possession. I'm sorry, on that. What do we call it? Rally?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that. And if I'm Olsen, you got to leave that one alone because you have defense behind you. You can come back up and get your swings. Zazama now, man, in. Olsen at the 10-foot line. Can't put it down. Freed. Boy, Freed's got a long swing around. Got to be quicker. And that's a big block. Oh, but it came right back, and then Hoff touches it down. That time the blocking was there for the Riverhawks. Unfortunate that it came right to her. Coach Williams asking for maybe a lift on that, but not going to get that call. McCardle serving. They list her at 5'9". I think if McCardle and I stood toe-to-toe, I think she's bigger than I am.
I think she is too.
Or taller, I should say. Good swing there by Teff, but not down. Freed can't put it home either. Wide open net. Defense isn't there. Hadley Teff with the kill.
Teff, only a sophomore. That was an upperclassman swing right there.
There's another one of the youth for Holmen.
Yep.
11-4, and I have them for 5 thus far kills for the Vikings. But yeah, they got McCardle listed at 5'9".
Yeah, she's not 5'9".
She's definitely not 5'9". Ooh, line drive serve. That's a great pass by Central, though. Freed, who's been moved all the way around.
Well, that was touch, though, wasn't it?
They say no touch.
Thought I saw it bounce off her hand.
Yeah, even Coach Williams, the assistant's also saying the same thing.
Oh, I'm surprised. I thought that was pretty clear.
Yeah, 12.
Need that video replay.
Would have been in. Freed trying to move it around. Tipped up and over by Hoff. Riverhawks set again. Shield tries to go down the net. Good bump by Hunt. Set in the middle. Crawford can't put it down. Good dig by Klein. Far side, Olsen. Erickson's there. Look out, battle at the net, and Nauman probably needed to dump that over. Zazama Nauman is a freshman trying to learn on the fly at the varsity level. It's stuff like that where it's at the net. She's going to have to dump that over. That's 2 times she's been called for that.
Like Klein is good in that back row, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Crawford put a really good swing on it. No problem for Klein.
Shield. Blocked, comes back to Central. Freed, across the way, and once again, Klein. Set, Teff, through the block, got the kill. It's a barrage. That's the problem, and the timeout by Coach Williams, but it's a barrage of Holmen Vikings that are just continuing to pound and pound away at that front line, and the Riverhawks are down by 10, 14-4 here in our first set.
Consolidated Energy Company is a local family-owned supplier of refined fuels and propane. For more than 30 years, they've supported local homeowners, farmers, and businesses in the Cooley region and beyond. Customers count on Consolidated Energy for reliable supply and service at competitive rates. Check out their programs created to meet your unique fuel and propane needs at consolidatedenergyco.com or call 608-782-3308.
Team Wireless, La Crosse's hometown Verizon store, is a proud sponsor of the Central Riverhawks. Find Team Wireless in the Three Rivers Plaza on Copeland Avenue, next to Festival Foods. Go Hawks!
14-4 our score as the first set, Holmen Vikings taking it to the Central Riverhawks. Regroup time for the Riverhawks, not getting too many quality swings. I do have Shield with 2 and Freed with 1. McCardle still serving for the Holmen Vikings. Brought across, Hunt overpass. Surprisingly, Olsen didn't put it down, and Crawford will get a chance in the middle. Hoff touched it first on the block. Olsen gets another chance. Block in the middle and out of bounds. Or on a far side. Freed trying to save it, but.
Another one where our blockers were there, just not getting the results. Frustrating.
Yes. 15-4 first set. That's in. That's good serve. Set for Freed. Timing was off on that for Freed. The set was actually good. Freed hesitated to come up. It still worked out for her for her second.
She swung hard, though. I like that.
She did.
Yep.
And Shield at the service line. She did some damage in set 4 against Toma at that service line. This is Teff, who's moved around. Overpass. Oh, almost mishit by Hoff. Erickson saves it. Wheezy got it over. McCardle, with the dump.
Oh, they're giving it to Central, though. They're calling the lift.
Oh, they did.
The scoreboard didn't, but the referees did.
Okay, so you have it right with
it's right on our
15-6.
screen, yep.
Yep. They switched it now, too. Klein touches first. And charging at the net is Olsen. That set was actually not high enough. You'd figure McCardle floated up half to the ceiling.
Really? Yep.
But that set barely climbed the net. And then Olsen had nowhere to go with it. Nice little run by the Riverhawks. 15-7. McCardle with a one-handed set, this time for Hoff. Wheezy not able to jump, but finds placement. That's all that matters.
Hit them where they ain't. She did a good job of seeing the court there, saw there was an open spot in the back corner, and dropped it down there perfectly.
15-8. And so the Riverhawks putting on a little run here with Shield at the service line. I want the nice save, too, by Erickson going almost to the crowd. Down the line, nice serve by Shield. Sets over to the far side. Oh, and miscommunication there between Teff and Hoff. Wheezy another chance and hits the umpire. He is not in. He is out.
He got it right in the grill, too.
He did. He didn't even have his whistle in.
No. They're going to check on him. Yeah, he got it right in the face.
Wheezy come over, said, "Are you okay?" And I'm sorry.
Well, Edie's a health science academy kid, so if there's any medical attention needed, she'd be able to burst into. Well, she's a junior though; she's new. In a week or so, she'd be able to jump into action. Once I get a chance to teach her a little bit.
I do like the Holmen crowd. The student section did chant, "There's a ref there." So I did like that. That's pretty funny. Yeah. I'll give them that. Got to give props to the crowd when they can get me to pop.
He's going to take a little drink of water here and try and regroup.
Good, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a little shocking. You don't expect to get hit in the face on that. Hopefully he's okay.
15-9 our score. First set. Do have football for you tomorrow night. Oh, I got to run through the Riverhawk activities too to what is happening. As I mentioned, Sparta on Alaska and Toma is hosting Logan tonight. Boys soccer is taking on West Salem this evening. Girls golf have their home meet tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Forest Hills. Football Friday night on Alaska. 7 p.m. We'll probably start at around 6:45. Nami and I back on the call, Ray on the camera. Now, after that, where the ref takes a bump. Now, he's just seeing that. He's got stars in his eyes. That's why he's calling the two-touch. No, I'm just kidding. So Nauman called on the two-touch. They've limited that call a little bit. Olsen on the serve. And freed into the net. Nauman got to shake that off. And you could see Williams come out and say something immediately to Zazaman Nauman because, again, that confidence is what you worry about. Wheezy. Klein down to get it. Back set for Olsen. Erickson plays it up. Freed goes to the back corner. What a dive by Olsen. And a chance even by Casey up at the front. Wheezy again. Can't get it down as McCardle was the first to touch. And this off the net wouldn't have mattered anyway. Casey can't get it over. What a dive by Olsen in the back by Holmen, but Riverhawks responded. Got the point. As Erickson's at the service line at 18-9. Double up time for Holmen. Soft serve and an ace by Erickson. The first of the night for the Riverhawks.
You know, at this point, 18-10, first set might be a little out of control, but try and build some momentum going into set number 2. Get some points here, make it respectable, and have some momentum going into that next set.
Erickson, another good serve, played up by Klein. And big swing there by Charlie Casey. My boy Owen is in the bathtub shouting, Riverhawks win.
Oh.
So he's really hoping for a W tonight.
He's calling it.
He's calling it.
Yep.
They'll have to make it quite the comeback in set 1 as down 19-10. Klein serving.
Maybe he's talking about football tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yep.
Just a free ball over. Cannot have free balls with this team.
Nope.
And there's that quick attack with Izzy Jar. So that ball right there by McCardle, that quick set is the touch comes up to Jar, and as she's jumping, that ball is just floating right above the net. That is perfect timing.
It's like poetry in motion, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Big hard swing there by Klein on the service line. Far side Freed. She comes at it, but Olsen plays. Far side again for Casey through the block. Nauman had a right arm swing just to keep it alive. Freed pounds, but Olsen is there for the dig. Another far side for Casey through everything. Nauman has the touch for the first. Freed pushes across. Olsen's there. McCardle sets near side this time and into the net by Teff. I don't think Teff even knew that was coming to her. No. She's already at the net, and by that point, you have no momentum to get your jump off.
No, she had no chance to take an approach at it. Just tried to kind of pound it over, but right into the net.
Nice job by Nauman to just kind of swing that arm up just to get the ball up in the air. Freed with the serve. Line drive, played Casey first, and then a free ball by Holmen. Somebody slipped down, too. Freed sets for Brixon through the block, got the kill. Had to work around the antenna as well as make sure her foot didn't cross the net.
She ran into the standard there. Can you run into the standard?
You can, as long, yeah, you could. That's fine.
You can, okay.
Just don't hit the antenna with the ball.
Yep.
This is Teff again. Shield on the dig. Freed sets. Quick attack by Eric Brixon, pardon me.
Got to get her going if we're going to have a chance, right?
Yes.
Two in a row there for Alyssa.
Well, you got Brixon and Gearhard in the front. This is where you kind of gain that momentum as you're talking about, 20-13. Even if you can't get the W in set 1, Teff up and over the block and out. Nice job. The eagle eye, or the hawk eye, I should say, of of Erickson watching that one. Didn't want to say Hawkeye because then people think I'm talking about Iowa, and I'm talking about Iowa State this weekend over the Hawkeyes.
Oh, that's right.
Freed to serve. Set for Teff. Oh, Schilt had it go sideways on her. Good swing there by Teff. That's her third. And then she subbed out for McKenna McHugh, who will serve at 21-14 advantage Holmen. I do like the fight that Central has put up, because they could have rolled over earlier. Gearhard through the block, got the kill. Again, maybe not the hardest swing that we've seen from the senior, but getting the job done. Hunt will come in to serve. I do like the battle.
Yeah.
The Central's fighting.
This is what we talked about. You got to have some momentum going into, and now at this point it's 6 going a little run. Who knows?
Right. Especially with Hunt at the service line. Klein on the, a back set there for McHugh. That's a little weird, but Gearhard slams it into the block. Shield on the roll off of the wrist. McCardle sets early for Jar, and it stays alive by Erickson. Holy cow. Back over to the far side for Charlie. It's up and out for Casey. Charlie Casey mishitting. What a dive by Erickson. Keep that alive, and the Holmen Vikings take a timeout at 21-16 in the set number 1. They have the 5-point lead, but feeling a little momentum shift to the Central Riverhawks.
That's what's going to take, plays like that. Everybody's got to give everything they got. Great play there by Erickson, keeping the ball alive, and Central able to get the finish.
That's nice. That was a great volley, too. I like the volley that I saw by the two teams. I mean, that's the thing. The blocking up front by both is excellent. You could tell. I mean, you're noticing that already, that the Riverhawks are getting touches, which is something we talked about at the broadcast, wondering what was going to happen. But I do like the fight and the grit that the Riverhawks are showing. Obviously, Holmen is such a good team. And this is what jones me up for volleyball. When you can watch some really, really good volleyball, it's not that I'm clapping up here because I'm rooting for the Riverhawks. I'm clapping because this is good volleyball.
And I'm clapping up here because I'm rooting for the Riverhawks.
Yeah, I know you are. Well, we got to have a Homer hat somewhere on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel. Again, thank you very much for coming along for the ride. Hunt is ready to serve. After the timeout by Holmen, McCardle sets. Oh, and Casey finds a spot that time. You knew she wanted one back after miss-hitting the last one.
For sure. And they went right back to her. Credit to the setter to get it back to her.
Yeah.
Right away, get that last one out of her head.
And that's McCardle knowing I got to come back to my sophomore because I don't want her struggling.
Yep.
Ooh. But Casey again at the service line this time is out. She's subbed out by Natalie Hewlett. She's a junior defensive specialist. They don't get enough love.
Really?
When the DSs come in and play 3 spots and walk off. Brixon to serve. And an ace by Brixon. That'll quiet the Holmen student section for a moment, too.
I think they chanted at Brixon, and Coach Williams is asking the official to keep an eye on that. It was not okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. Short serve again, sideways off of Klein. Jar ends up with something and hits the back corner. Wow, that's good placement because I was with Brixon. I probably wouldn't have touched that either.
Yeah.
23-18, 2 left for Holmen as Jar will go back to serve. Izzy, the senior middle hitter. Oh, sideways ace off of Hunt. And that is only the second ace of the match for Holmen, which is surprising because their serve has been so solid. And here's set point.
May only be the second ace, but their serves have caused us to have some mishits.
Yes. Oh, and miscommunication between Schilt and Hunt. And the second ace for Jar. And no ties in that set number 1, but it's 25-18. As a slow start to set number 1 for the Riverhawks. They still only lose by 7 in the set. So a nice bounce back after an early maybe jitters, as you called it.
Yeah, and the challenge now is to keep that momentum going. They wanted to build some momentum. They made it respectable. 18's respectable. Now you got to come out with that same intensity that you had at the end of that first set you can't come out flat-footed. I was worried in the beginning.
Yeah.
We looked flat-footed. We looked down. We were kind of moping around. They picked it up. Now you got to carry that over to round 2 here.
Set number 2 will get started in just a moment after we thank our great sponsors here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel.
Consolidated Energy Company is a local family-owned supplier of refined fuels and propane. For more than 30 years, they've supported local homeowners, farmers, and businesses in the Cooley region and beyond. Customers count on Consolidated Energy for reliable supply and service at competitive rates. Check out their programs created to meet your unique fuel and propane needs at consolidatedenergyco.com or call 608-782-3308.
Team Wireless, La Crosse's hometown Verizon store, is a proud sponsor of the Central Riverhawks. Find Team Wireless in the Three Rivers Plaza on Copeland Avenue, next to Festival Foods. Go Hawks!
So we're going to start our second set in just a moment, but I do want to give a shout out to our donation sponsors as well. Haven't got that up on the screen yet. Here they are. Here's all of our donation sponsors. So thank you again to all those donation sponsors that have helped us out throughout the year. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to say that if you are wanting to participate as a sponsor from a business standpoint, if you're a fan that wants to provide a donation, however you want to do it, because Nami, you said that you've had a couple of those requests too. Talk to Nami George. You get a hold of Mark Ambrose, and you can find me as well. The only way I'm going to be able to communicate with you is on Twitter, though, at Radio McCall. Or X or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is a shout out to one of our donation sponsors. How about Rose Jewelers? Because, man, I have used them. In fact, my necklace that I have a cross on and a pendant, my pendant came from when Owen was born, has his name and birthday on it. They took that same pendant, spun it around, and engraved Raylan's name on it with the birthday. I got my cross there, my necklace, and Dana's mother's ring all came from Rose Jewelers.
Very cool. Local business. We love supporting local businesses. We love supporting local businesses even more when they support us. So people that are watching, subscribers to the YouTube channel, people that enjoy our broadcast, go out and support those donation sponsors. They mean so much to us and our other sponsors as well.
Well, one thing I wanted to hit on was that they do all their stuff in-house. So a lot of that stuff that they do, everything is all there. So you don't think it's going to get shipped out somewhere. It's not sent anywhere. They do a lot of customization right there at the facility. So if you have a piece of jewelry that kind of needs some love, I'd go there first.
Not a lot to worry about. They do it all right there.
That's right. Freed with the serve, and away we go for set number 2. Good save over by McCardle, and a free ball by Holmen. Brixon on the tip, though. No swing. Touched there by Bassaneur, who we didn't see first. The first set, I don't think I called Bassaneur. She's in this time. Casey has the kill, and away we go with set number 2. Set 1, no ties. I had the Vikings for 5, 7, 10, 11 kills. They average right at 10 per set. So they were hitting their average in that first one. Casey will go to serve. You're getting your text messages now.
I got a special shout out to do in a little bit.
Oh boy. Gerhard right over to Olsen. Back set for Casey, but not down. Erickson back set for Shield. She can't get it down because of Klein. What libero work by both teams. Block up front by Brixon. Klein brought it across. That's a surprise. And Weezy away from the net. Might have been outplayed instead by Casey. Block up front, through it, and kill for Lydia Olsen, who had 2 in the first.
Got to figure out a way to get those blocks to be effective. Again, we're there. We're just not getting the execution on it.
Charlie Casey back to serve. That's out. Yes, good call by the official. That was awfully close, but 2-1. And we're seeing Anna Mua come in, which she has not played. I didn't think she had played since the very first match that we covered.
We saw her against Alaska. I don't remember seeing her against Toma.
I didn't see her against Aquinas either the night that I was there as a fan.
Well, she's ready to go then.
I guess so. And got the dig, but got to get a free ball up and over as Freed. Chance was for Olsen. Jar on the curl. That's into the net and tied 2-2.
So a big,
Much better
big play
start.
bit there by Mua to be able to keep that alive and give Central a chance to win that.
Yes, because that looked like it was going to go to the floor.
Yes, sir, it did.
That's the first tie of the match at 2s. Mua again, served up. Played by Klein, blocked up front. Oh, just out. And a kill for Olsen.
So now the block is there, and just unfortunate break that it hits outside the line.
Barely, too. I mean, it was close. What happened there? Who called a timeout?
Not sure.
Did Holmen call a timeout? I believe that because Coach Williams looked around and just kind of waved her hands and yay, it was Holmen. They even say timeouts left. One up on the scoreboard for Holmen, so a rare early timeout. Not sure what Coach Grabowinski was looking at, but got the timeout, and so here we are. All right.
No whistle or anything. That
No.
was odd.
Well, what's your shout out? Get to it now.
All right, 2 alumni from the Central Volleyball program, Haley Ogle and Ellie Buxton, who are going to school at UW Milwaukee, are watching from their dorm in Milwaukee, so all the way across the state, checking in on their former program. So hi Haley, hi Ellie, glad you're watching.
Well, do your thing. 2 of your favorites.
Oh, 2 of my favorites of all
There
time.
you
You
go.
knew that already. 2 of my favorites of
Okay.
all time. They're also former softball players, so I had an opportunity to
Oh,
coach both
boy.
of them. Absolutely, 2 of my
2
favorites
of your
all time.
favorites out of the million kids.
I didn't even have to say it that time because that's just a given.
Jar to serve after a rare timeout by a Holmen. Set for Brixon, a little behind her. McCardle had the touch first. Jar on a back set, it's out and tied 3-3.
Central doing a better job here with the energy and even just the movement. They're moving quicker and faster. And that first set, they came out just a little flat, maybe a few too many jitters, but they're settling in now, which is good to see.
Brixon serving for Central. Bua on the dig from Hoff. Shield can't put it down. Double block up front was good. Olsen coming right back to her on the tip. Freed's there. Mua had to save it. Freed gets it over. Played by Hewlett first. Olsen. And Riverhawks were into the net. I think he called that on Crawford. Hewlett back. No, Hewlett is back there, but that's McHugh who comes in to serve. Short serve, Mua overpass, look out. It's a wide open swing for Lydia Olsen.
With a team with the kind of hitters that Holmen has, that's a recipe for disaster right there. You could see that setting up.
One thing you cannot do, overpass.
No.
Erickson took this one. Far side Shield. Slams through the double block, gets the kill right away, comes right back. Good job by the Riverhawks on a much better serve receive that time. On the pass, Zazima Nauman going back to serve. We'll see if she can calm down after that first set. A little bit of a struggle for her. Nice line drive serve. Set for Olsen and Mua. Got it right back over. Freed sets far side. Shield. Oh, miss hit it. Into the net.
How about Mua, though, giving some good effort plays here for the Riverhawks?
Let's see, who would she be playing in the back four? Probably Gearhard then?
I think.
Yes, it'd be Gearhard because Brixon is the server, but then Erickson comes in for her. Olsen float serve. Harrison calling everybody off. Freed over on that far side. Klein there on the bump for Holmen. Setting for Casey. We have a net violation again by the Riverhawks. Once again, it's Crawford.
Got to figure that out. That's 2 points here. This is a close set. 2 points that we just gave them.
7-4.
At least make them earn it.
Yes. Mua on the bump. Nauman sets for Freed. Blocked up front. Big time block by Hoff and McCardle teaming up.
All right, what are these Riverhawks made of? This is the time right now. You can't let this set get out of control. You really, really need a side out.
And it was tied 3, so now 5-1 run for the Vikings. Crawford actually touches first. Nauman and Freed end up colliding together. McCardle on the dump, and they call the lift on her.
Boy, you know, that's 2 lifts that they've called this game, and all season it seems like they've been pretty, at least most of the crews we get have been pretty lenient with the lift.
Yeah.
Those 2 there are not the most egregious I've seen.
No. That's 2 on McCardle for that, and then we've had the 2 touch on Nauman.
That's right.
Shield was at the service line the last time the Riverhawks went on a run in that set number 1. See if she can do it again. Starts with an ace. 3rd ace for the Riverhawks. I also have 3 for the Holmen Vikings. I'd be interested in knowing the efficiency of both squads after that first set. There hasn't been a ton of hitting errors, honestly. It's both, and I mentioned that, and the serving error, of course, that's on me.
Yep, Nisa will be texting me here soon.
No, instead I get Joe Burrow agrees to a $275 million extension. The amount of money that's getting thrown around in the NFL is ridiculous.
We should have become quarterbacks. Why didn't we think of that?
Nick Bosa, too. I don't have the height for it. You have to put me on stilts. Erickson set with the bump, I should say, and then a block up front. Actually, I don't think that was touched. Might have been into the net. Surprised Coach Williams maybe thinking about a timeout, but no. Klein serving the libero. She's made some fantastic plays already for Holmen. Erickson's done the same on the other side. Wheezy, far side, had to get it up and over. Klein, it would have been in, so she played. Back set for Olsen, probably would have been out, and instead Shield played it. And underneath the net, and a 6th kill for Lydia Olsen. Back sets are working for Holmen. They're able to kind of eyeball things. When you got those tall, lanky hitters like Olsen, who, again, marked at 5'9", no chance. She's taller than that. Nauman sets for Crawford, who gets the kill. Nice swing by Ella Crawford. The freshman gets a nice round of applause, and 11-7. Much needed side out by the Riverhawks, though. And with Erickson at the service line.
Anissa texted and asked if you would please stop jinxing the Riverhawks. That would be great.
Can't help that. Actually, I said it was a hitting error, not a serving error. And Jar takes something completely off of it. Instead of pounding towards Brixton's block, she goes around it. And had just enough of a tip that fell on the Riverhawk side.
Another one of these spots where the Riverhawks have to respond.
And we're noticing that when Holmen gets the serve, it's not 1. They're getting 2, possibly 3. If Riverhawks are getting 1, and then the side out immediately by Holmen. Nauman sets for Freed through the block, kill. Freed sometimes when she doesn't jump, she actually has a better opportunity to put the ball down because I think she's able to see what the defense is bringing at the net.
Freed is so athletic. She can play the back row real well. She can come up and hit. She can set the ball. Just a really good all-around volleyball player.
Far side for Klein. Set for Casey. That was not touched anyway on the block. They would have called the lift, and they could have called 4 hits. It doesn't matter. 12-9.
So a couple chances here for Holmen to try and extend and make this, get it out of control. Riverhawks able to respond. We've seen it twice.
McCardle sets. There is Jar. And you talk about those quick sets. It just throws every defender off. You don't have time to get up for it. You're looking for the nice high set, and instead those quick attacks are just so deadly. Casey goes to serve. I have her for 3 kills, no aces. High float serve. Erickson plays it nicely. Freed sets for Brixton. Wow, what a dig back there by Casey. Freed sets far side for Wheezy. And McCardle had to touch it first. Tip by Brixton. I think I would have liked to see a swing there. And out on the push by Olsen. So there your block by the Riverhawks actually makes the Holmen Vikings think about it a little bit more because they've gone up against it a few times, and Olsen tried to get cute.
And yeah, we've seen the block be there now a couple times, and all of a sudden Holmen has to double guess what they're going to try and do. That's what you have to do, get in their heads a little bit.
We're both wrong. Mua's playing in for Wheezy.
Oh, there you go.
Shows what we know. Big block up front. McCardle had to go up and over. Shield, and back corner. Well, it doesn't matter. I won't count it for Shield on the kill. Would have, because she hit the back corner. Perfect placement. Instead, it's Holmen into the net. Either way, Riverhawks get the point, and it's 13-11.
In my stats in my head, I'm counting that as a kill.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. I mean, it would have counted.
Me and Miss Shield will count that as a.
Mua on a nice float serve. McCardle sets. There's Jar again on that quick attack. The Riverhawk blockers are going to have to prepare themselves a little bit quicker and think that's coming, that's coming, that's coming.
Yep.
Jar to serve. Mua got a good pass. Gearhard, who's been awfully quiet. Overpass, Erickson. Back to Gearhard, swinging through the block this time, and the kill. Nice shot by Ruby Gearhard, and good placement.
Love to see Ruby Gerhard get going here. She had it working against Toma.
Yes, she did. Well, remember, there was a spot where she hit it near, middle, far. All three spots on one volley.
The whole repertoire.
Yes, Klein got a good up on that. Olsen can't put it down. Shield through the block. Chance again, and puts it down.
What an athletic play there by Shield. She had went up for the kill the first time, came right back at her. She went up with that same veracity and got a big swing on the ball.
14-13, Brixton to serve again for the Riverhawks, down by a point, short serve. Olsen has been everywhere on this court so far. Oh, Mua. That one you gotta make. That's a kill for Bassanur. We didn't call Kendall too much in that first. She's another senior, right side, outside. Mua, you gotta make that play though. Down by just a point. Chance for a little redemption. Serve receive is solid. Crawford pounds and kill for Ella Crawford. Going right at the sophomore libero, Macy Klein.
Love it. What a swing there by the freshman. Yeah, I know Holmen's ranked. I don't want to take anything away from them. They're a very, very good team. The Riverhawks can play with them.
Yes.
They can play with them, clean up the mistakes. They can play with them.
Nauman serving. Back line, but bumped up by Hewlett. Olsen, double block. Carroll, Crawford was trying to, I see what she was trying to do.
Yep.
Trying to keep it up, but instead it got away from her. I would not call that a kill for Holmen. That's a mistake by Crawford. That she even tapped herself. Oh, my bad. 16-14, our score, set 2. Holmen won the first set, 25-18. Freed, far side, through the block, but played up by Casey, coming right back to her on the near side, and she puts down her fourth.
When pressed against the wall, the Riverhawks have responded 3 times this set. They got to do it again right now.
And Holmen's kind of done the same thing. The pressure has been brought to them by the Riverhawks a couple of times.
You're right, yep.
Nauman, that was supposed to be a quick set to Shield, and kill for Shield. She's showing signs of a little bit of offensive repertoire as she's moved things around. Far side, near side, big swings, little tips, everything. Showing it all. That's versatility. That's what you like to see. Been solid at that service line too. Overpass, Crawford. Can't win the battle. Nauman to Freed. Blocked up front again, and then nobody touches it. That's a tag team of Casey and Hoff. Half block for each, 18-15. Klein back to serve. I am very impressed by their libero too. These two are very good liberos with Erickson and Klein. Oh. Crawford's got to get up there quicker though. You got to have that full swing. Olsen in the back, way out. But that's a quick attack there for Crawford for the Riverhawks, and you have to be up there immediately to hit that ball hard.
Yep.
So the timing was off.
Something she'll learn.
And Erickson to serve with the Riverhawks down 18-16. Float serve, McCardle underneath of it. Casey out. Not touched, and that is a miss hit, 18-17. We talked about in the warm-up, the Holmen Vikings are calling a second timeout already by Coach Grabowinski. But we talked about in the warm-up, the Holmen Vikings have won 4 out of the Mississippi Valley Conference. Trying to get out, or are you okay? Okay. So the Holmen Vikings, 4 wins in the MVC, and what do we say? 2 sets is all it's been in those 12 that somebody's hit 20 on them. Riverhawks have a chance here to get it to 20. They need the 3 points, and they're applying a lot of pressure on Holmen in the second set.
This is what we talked about pregame. Put the pressure on the 8th ranked or 7th ranked team in the state, right? Make them have to start thinking about what they're doing. We saw their hitters already starting to adjust a little bit because our blocks are finally getting to them. We see now Holmen having to use 2 timeouts this set. Now finish the deal.
Division I for the top 10. Divine Savior Holy Angels, so Conomowoc, Appleton North, Arrowhead. How'd you say that again? Manitowoc? Manitowoc, Lincoln, and then Oak Creek, Bayport. So Bayport is one of that ranked teams. Oh. They're the ones that beat Holmen. So they're 7, Holmen 8. Franklin and River Falls round out the top 10 in Division I. So the one loss these Vikings have had is to a rated Division I team. Now this is going to be one tough section to come out of because you're going to go up against all those Madison teams too. And DeForest, who's always pretty solid. That's where the Riverhawks are going Saturday. They have their DeForest tournament. Shield, not really a back set. Olson with the bump, McCardle setting, and a kill for Jar. So those timeouts that Coach Grabowinski's taking, even though they're leading, they've come out strong both times.
Yep, they've been able to stem the tide and gain the momentum back. Central had everything working for them before that timeout. Now we've seen a couple missed hits, and Holmen, of course, taking advantage of it.
Out. Nice. Call by Shield and Erickson, because I thought one of them was going to touch it.
So often they have topspin on those serves, and it drops right down on the line.
Yes. Freed. Klein there. Far side, and Casey. So that time, everybody kind of eyeballing Jar, and the next thing you know, it's Casey over the far side.
I think that's the strength of this Viking team, as you said, it's a barrage. They just have a whole bunch of weapons that they can go to. You can't key in on one person.
And if you're trying to check the eyes of McCardle, she's looking directly at Jar. Right. That set's behind her, and an ace coming for Casey. I think if I'm Coach Williams, I call a timeout.
Yeah, and she's gonna.
Yep, good call. 22-18, and coming out of that timeout, 4 straight. So you're looking at it pardon me, 3 straight. 3 straight by the Holmen Vikings. So
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, it was 18-17 at the timeout by Holmen. Yeah, so a 4-1 run.
Yeah, 4-1 run, yeah. So, there was a ton of section games, too. The Section 3 for Division I, where the Central Riverhawks are in. They're with Baraboo, DeForest. Get your pen out, and I'll go as slow as possible. Baraboo, DeForest, Holmen, Madison East, Madison Memorial, Madison West, Madison Lafayette, Middleton, Monona Grove, Onalaska, Sparta, Toma, Verona, and Waunakee. I mean, all those teams. That is such a big section. And then you're thinking, well, who maybe is the top team? I don't know the records right now of these division teams. I know for sections there was a ton of games. Almost everybody in this section is playing tonight. Baraboo, they're at Edgewood. DeForest, they travel to Beaver Dam. Madison East, Madison Memorial, Madison West. All the Madison teams were playing tonight. Middleton was taking on Verona. 2 of the section teams competing against each other.
Yeah, you're right. That's a tough sectional.
Got to play strong all the way through, and you're probably going to see somebody that you haven't seen all year if you make it to a final. Gearhard tipping. Overpass. Brickson came back over. McCardle to Jar. That's way up and out. Nice job by the Riverhawks. A battle, because that was tough. Those two teams not letting the ball hit the floor, and a great job by the Riverhawks just to keep it up. Now look, and especially because one of those looked like it was going to be a kill anyway.
For sure.
Mua back to serve. McCardle kept it alive. Freed. Erickson sets. Coming to Gearhard. Back line played up by Hewlett. Olsen, far side, might have been out, but Erickson played it. Freed will just have to free ball it. Klein on a perfect pass. Olsen smashes to Brixton and gets it down. Letty Olsen, 23-19. And Jar back to serve. 2 points away are the Holmen Vikings from taking set number 2. Gearhard can't get it down. Hewlett was there. Back set for Jar. Erickson, Freed, Gearhard, tipping, diving play by Hewlett, and another one-arm play there by McCardle, set for Shield. And the Holmen Vikings were scrambling around anyway, and it comes to Shield.
There's 20 for the Riverhawks.
Only the third time this year a Mississippi Valley Conference team has put 20 on the board to Holmen. Holmen, though, 2 points away from ending the set. Brixton.
We didn't come up here to get to 20.
Right. Got to have the 5. Olsen, Freed. Oh, boy, going way back. And Olsen with her 8th. And back to serve. Just subbing in is McHugh. 4-set point. Shield rolled off the wrist. Nobody played afterwards after the original bump by McHugh. So miscommunication there, and Nauman will come in to serve. Plays for Gearhard. Still set point, though. Got to remember that. Overpass. Oh, and Shield came right to her. She hit it into the net. 25-21. Oh.
Gift wrap ball there, and she's got a little too excited.
2 ties at 2 and 3, and that's it. 25-21. Great battle by the Riverhawks. Got it up to 21. Forced Holmen to call a couple of timeouts, but they were key timeouts by Coach Grabowinski because Holmen came back out and put it to the Riverhawks after those timeouts. Went on the run 4-1, as you mentioned, the late stages of set 2. And now Holmen has a chance for the sweep when we come back here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel.
Consolidated Energy Company is a local family-owned supplier of refined fuels and propane. For more than 30 years, they've supported local homeowners, farmers, and businesses in the Coulee region and beyond. Customers count on Consolidated Energy for reliable supply and service at competitive rates. Check out their programs created to meet your unique fuel and propane needs at consolidatedenergyco.com or call 608-782-3308.
Team Wireless, La Crosse's hometown Verizon store, is a proud sponsor of the Central Riverhawks. Find Team Wireless in the Three Rivers Plaza on Copeland Avenue, next to Festival Foods. Go Hawks!
Set number 3 about to get underway as the wave happens in front of us. Nami, you kept your arms down. Good job. 25-21 and 25-18. That was set 1. 25-21 was set 2. As the Holmen Vikings have the 2-0 lead on the Central Riverhawks. I mentioned that the Riverhawks have that tournament coming up, and they'll go to DeForest on Saturday. Then they host Sparta, so we'll be covering that one on Tuesday night. They also go to Logan on Thursday, and we'll cover that one here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel. Then they go up to Eau Claire North, and on September 21st, They're at Onalaska, and we'll be there for that one too. And then they host Aquinas, and on that particular night, that's a September 26th match at home. We are not going to cover that one, only because I know we didn't cover the road one against Aquinas either, but it gives us an opportunity to put boys soccer on the YouTube channel, as they are going to be at Sparta on that particular night. So on September 26th, if you want to see the Riverhawks volleyball team, you're going to have to come to the gym to see them. And as far as Holmen goes, they have Central tonight. They actually play tomorrow and Saturday at the Kettle Moran tournament that they go to tomorrow and Saturday.
You know what people could do on the 26th is go to the game, volleyball game, and then get out their mobile device and stream the soccer game.
Yeah, exactly.
Catch two events at once.
That's right. That's true.
And then they could send us updates so we would be able to announce it on the air.
And that's what I want to know anyway.
Yep.
So I would even like score updates tonight between Sparta and Onalaska and Logan at Toma. Somebody's got to be there.
Logan, I have a chance. I don't know about Sparta and
Toma? No, Onalaska.
Sparta, I don't have a lot of contacts there.
What good are you?
I'm not real big on Alaska.
Well, I wonder why. We'll see them tomorrow night for football. Freed swinging hard. Olsen on the dig. Jar up front. Hit it, but it still paid off for her. Izzy I have for 8. And a 1-0 lead as we start set number 3 for the Holmen Vikings. And back to serve will be McCardle.
Can definitely see why they're ranked in the state. They got a nice team. Pretty solid all around.
And that's just the key right there, is that they are so solid all the way around. Wheezy. And Holmen was in the net. It's called it on Hadley Teff. Tie 1-1. Yeah, I mean, and then you talk about their libero, and we talked about the growth of Erickson last year. Macy Klein, same thing here for Holmen. Sophomore, really takes charge of the back row. Oh boy, an overpass and a second one. Riverhawks front line should have touched that first. And Casey comes up and blasts one into the double block and kill.
Well, that's happened a lot tonight where the block's been there and falls right down in front of us.
Brixton on the year, 37 coming in here tonight. She's actually 3rd in Division I in blocks.
And she was high up last year, I remember.
She was, I think she actually finished 3rd. Well, of the regular season. It changes obviously during the playoffs when more teams get more sets and all that, but for the regular season, yes. Oh, and that kind of night, as Hadley Teff did not put a whole lot of mustard on that hot dog.
Didn't need to.
No. And that's what you put on a hot dog, is mustard, not ketchup. 3-1.
You Iowa people.
My boy loves it too. He called for mustard this morning for his lunch. I would have been in. Shield played. You Iowa people. Oh, Jar. Oh, Shield there. Oh, into the net. Riverhawks are into the net. And here's that slow start as we saw set 1. Set 2 had a much better start for Central. Cannot let this thing slide to 5-6 right away, Nami.
Central looks a little deflated right now. They need to pick up the energy.
A block or a good kill will do that. Wheezy back corner, but nice play by McCardle. Teff waiting forever on it. Shield on the bump. Far side, Gear hard. Straight down and got the kill. McCardle tried to dig it up, but Gearhard with just her 3rd. In my book, anyway.
Little life on the Riverhawk side.
Yes. Looked like some energy sparking there, especially off the bench. They were getting pretty pumped.
Yep.
Do I dare say it?
Nope.
Okay. You don't want me mocking that student section again, do you? Mua into the net. That's all I was going to say, is spark on the bench. I didn't say anything about the crowd. Ray knows all about how mean I was to the student section on Tuesday night.
On the road, it's tough. At home, there's no excuse for it, though.
Shield. Oh, hit it. McCardle slides down. Oh, Erickson. Got to let that one go. Mua was behind her. She could have handled it.
Communication here.
Yeah. And Coach Williams talked about 2 pointing at her ear to Mua. 6-2. Oh, and an ace by Jar. We see an early timeout. We do. A third ace by Jar. I have 5 aces for the Holmen Vikings. 2, actually make that 3 for the Central Riverhawks. And a 7-2 start here in set number 3 for the Holmen Vikings, leading the Central Riverhawks. Then coming in 10-1 on the year, the Vikings 4-0 in the conference. Conference looks like this: Holmen at 4-0, Aquinas 3-1, Onalaska 2-1. Central got bumped up to 4th after their win against Toma. They got a big one against Logan, who's also 1-2. And then Toma at 1-3. Sparta rounds out at 0-2. I am looking forward to that big match between Logan and Central. Central wants to stay in that top 3. Let's call it 3. Because I know that they lost to Aquinas already in the season, and to Holmen and to Onalaska, but they got a chance against Onalaska. Remember, they won that first set. They had it into 5 and then lost it, and it was early in the season. This team's trying to figure out how to win matches too. That rematch might be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and they're young. You expect them to get better the next time you see them.
Yes, that's 2-touch for McCardle on the lift. But yeah, I completely agree with you that I think it'll be different with Onalaska. But this match, the Toma win was huge. They got to beat Sparta. You know, they've got to win these games that's in front of them.
Yeah, I think they lost to Sparta in that tournament, so that'll be
yes. That's another one where you got to come up with a W. Hoff in the middle. What's that kill? Or wait, they say that was Olsen. Pardon me. I didn't realize they have kills up there on that other side. Up on the
cool.
board, yeah. Overpass. Oh, it might have been out. Set in the middle. Not down by Hoff. Chance for Gearhard. Far side. Puts it through the blast. A lift. Clearly a lift on Olsen. So Gearhard gives Central a point. Well, kind of. And in Tommy's book, that's still a kill.
That's a kill. Yep.
Zazman Nauman back to serve.
For Ruby, it's 2 kills in my mind.
Nauman with a good serve. Played by Klein. Overpass by McCardle, trying to dump it off, and Shield with the block. I have that as only the first official block of the night for the Riverhawks.
Really? Wow.
For the Vikings, I believe I lost track with theirs.
Wow,
I think they're
one
up to
block,
3.
is that right?
That's all I had.
Wow.
68 on the year for the Riverhawks. Nauman into the net. And for the Holmen, 49. So 19 advantage in the block department, but not tonight. Olsen serving for the Holmen Vikings. Leading and going off to play a 2-day tournament. Shield, wow, one-arm dig by Klein. Off the extension, Nauman ended up making something out of it. Shield does, or was this alive? No, they won't give her the pancake, and Shield will get the kill, her 8th. We saw a pancake on Tuesday night with Erickson, thought it might get not called, or called up and still alive, but instead the referee blew the whistle, similar to that here. Can Shield put a couple at the service line? Oh, boy. Blocks late. Charlie Casey, you have to have something in front of these hitters.
And I think Aaliyah Shield would agree with you because she just took one right to the body. No block there, wide open net for the hitter. You cannot do that.
Klein serving. Played by Erickson, libero and libero crime. Crawford tips it over. Touched first by Casey, going right back to her. And rolled off the net for some home cooking for her 9th. The Riverhawks can't get a break even off the net.
I was just going to say, Holman's too good. They don't need the breaks, too.
It's true. (11-6), another 5-point lead. That's a solid jump serve. And Macy Klein with her 2nd.
Good volleyball player.
Yeah, she is. She is stellar. And has the makings of something very special.
Her sister, too, was a very good volleyball player and softball player. Her mom, too. The Kleins.
Now you're showing your age.
Yeah.
And Klein back-to-back, and Coach Williams going to call her second timeout of set number 3, down 13-6. You have to wonder if kind of the gas tank for the Riverhawks, especially in set 2, how well they played, did they kind of run out?
It seems like it. We noticed that right away, that there was just a different energy over here after they battled as hard as they could in that second set. Didn't come up on the winning side, and I think it's just too hard for the Riverhawks to overcome, especially with a young team. You give everything you got, you don't get the result you're looking for. It's hard to pick yourself back up and come back out and play well in the third set.
You've been a coach. I know you finally quit. I'm not going to say that you retired. You quit.
Retired, yeah.
Yeah, you quit. In a situation like this, now that's not volleyball, but think of it as a softball and a team's going on a big run. You gave up a big inning or whatever, and you've got some young players. How do you kind of bring that confidence back to them when you're in the middle of a game?
You know what I always did was look to my seniors, upperclassmen, to try and help me, because I'm screaming the whole time. I'm trying to encourage the whole time, so it starts to get drowned out. It doesn't really matter, but if the seniors can get their attention, some of those upperclassmen, and we talked to Ruby about that in the interview, how can you do that? And that's one thing she said she was going to focus on, so we'll see if the seniors can kind of get some energy going on that Riverhawk sideline.
I like it.
Depend on your players. Put them in that leadership role.
Yeah, just pass the buck like you do on this YouTube channel.
That's what I do.
And Klein with another ace.
I'm a delegator, Joel.
Oh, is that what you call it? Okay, 14-6. 8-point lead, though. And we talked about in the warm-up how Holmen gets stronger as this game has gone on. We saw it in some of the scores that we saw in the MVC. The third set has been kind of a just absolutely mauling on some of these MVC teams. And an overpass can't do that. Jar's there. Her 9th. And things are just getting out of hand.
And look at the central sideline right now. I mean, they're just deflated. This is something that this young team has to learn. You're never out of it till it's over, so
right.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Don't give up. Make one good pass. Get the ball back. See what happens.
25-7 against Sparta the other night. 25-15 against Onalaska. Weezy can't quite put it down. Casey over the far side. They called a touch?
Come on now.
Okay, they called it. Casey with her 10th.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, Coach Williams did not like that call either.
Either did retired Coach George.
Yeah, true. It was 25-15 against Aquinas, not Onalaska. Onalaska was 25-19 on that third set. But you're seeing free balls, you're seeing scrambles by the Riverhawks. And on the line for Ella Crawford blocking Izzy Jar. You said it on Tuesday night's broadcast. Crawford is going to be a menace.
Jar, one of the best hitters in the conference. Crawford don't care.
No. Oh, battle at the net. Oh, what? Oh, they're calling both at the net. So Casey was there as well as Brixton, so we just replayed the play.
The reason that our player was on the net is because the other player hit it into her, but must be getting late. Must be getting to be my bedtime. I'm getting ornery.
Yeah, true. Boy, how are you going to handle football tomorrow night?
I know I better get a good night's sleep.
Yes, you should. I better, too. I did not last night, apparently, as Casey gets the kill. I had to have pop tonight. You don't normally see me having pop.
I was surprised.
I know. I didn't have tea tonight either. I'm going to have that tomorrow. I did dress up, though.
You did.
I dressed up a lot more than I had been.
Not quite playoff, Joel, though.
No, we're not that tie weather yet. We'll get there, though. Dump off by Nauman. Ooh. Set for Wheezy. Would have been in. Back set for Olsen. Rolled off. Nauman was there, and then that's it. Olsen with her 10th. Right now for the Vikings, I have 37 kills for the Vikings.
Yeah, they're impressive. There's no doubt about that. Especially if you have overpasses and allow them to do whatever they want at the net.
McCardle serving, and then Nauman on that illegal touch. 19-7. And still back to serve is McCardle. Freed over on the far side, got it up and over the block, but couldn't put it down. Teff, that's a rare miss by McCardle. Brixon on the curl, had to wait for it forever as everything was mistimed on that. I have the third for Brixon. Total-wise right now for the Riverhawks, doing quick math, which is never my strong suit. I have 20. 20 kills, 3 aces, serving air there. You know, again, I thought this game in general was played pretty cleanly up at the net. I would be surprised if Holmen had been below 200 with their hitting for efficiency, and I'd be surprised if the Riverhawks were under 100. Because the hitting-wise, they've not had that many mistakes.
No, really.
And even serving-wise tonight, I'd be surprised if the Riverhawks weren't above their average. I know we just saw one by Freed. There's a block by Brixon, another chance. Can't give up, and they don't. It's Teff into the net. Nice battle there, and with Brixon getting, she thought she had a block. Thought she had a point. Everybody was starting to scream a little too early.
Stuck with it, though, and got it.
They did.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll have to go back to the box score. Max Preps has those box scores usually up, especially for these two teams. They post their stuff pretty early. Holmen, though, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They may not have it in there till Sunday because they have that tournament. They got the 2 days that they're going, you know, that Kettle Moran tournament that they start up tomorrow in the morning, as Teff floats it up and over and gets the point. But I am thankful that both teams do utilize Max Preps for their volleyball. And Jar back to serve, 21-9. Freed sets. Brixon again, not quite where you want that. Jar way up and out. I'm glad the Riverhawks got the double digits. But there for a moment, I was a little worried.
You know, Coach Williams talked about the serve receive and how good that had to be. We saw a good pass there.
Yes.
Central got a decent hit on it, ends up with a point. That's what it comes down to.
Oh.
Give yourself a chance at least.
Yes. Teff, she's up to 7, climbing.
Been impressed with her tonight.
And Annika Schroeder subbing in for Holmen. Hadn't seen her. She is one of those seniors, plays defensive specialist. I just had a moth almost go in my mouth. Miscommunication there by the Riverhawks. McCardle sets on the curl. And another block. This time Shield and Crawford team up to block Hoff. But the Holmen Vikings have doubled up the Riverhawks here in set 3. Won the first set 25-18, 25-21 in the second. Had 3 ties total in the match, 2 and 3 in set 2, 1-1 in set 3. Nice serve by Nauman. Good job by McCardle to get it up and over, or get it back to somebody that can get it up and over, I should say. Schiltz blocked, Mua tracks, and Freed gets it up and over. Far side, Olsen looking for the pound and will. Man, Lydia Olsen's been super impressive.
Yes, she has.
I have her for 11. Their scoreboard went out.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Over on the far side, I can't tell what they have.
Williams can really get off the floor. Wow, can she jump.
Yeah, she is a strong hitter. And Lydia's going back to serve. And an ace by Olsen. Got that as the ninth ace. I'd be interested to know who the other teams are at that Kettle Moran as another ace, and that's how it'll end. Olsen with back-to-back aces, 25-11. I'd love to know who they have to face, because I'm sure it's going to be some stiff competition. Be interesting to see if they can go to that Kettle Moran and then come back with, 4 or 5 wins, because this Holmen Vikings team, they are a juggernaut.
Yeah, they're definitely legit. They had it all on display tonight. You saw when Central was able to challenge them a little bit, things got a little dicey, but Coach Grabowinski calls those timeouts. gets her team under control, finishes the deal here tonight.
Let's thank our sponsors as I get our final tallies. I don't know if Coach Williams is going to come up here, and I don't think we really need her to.
No.
After talking to her on Tuesday, they can regroup. They're going off to DeForest coming up on Saturday anyway. So let's thank our sponsors real fast, and then we'll come right back.
Consolidated Energy Company is a local family-owned supplier of refined fuels and propane. For more than 30 years, they've supported local homeowners, farmers, and businesses in the Cooley region and beyond. Customers count on Consolidated Energy for reliable supply and service at competitive rates. Check out their programs created to meet your unique fuel and propane needs at consolidatedenergyco.com or call 608-782-3308.
Team Wireless, La Crosse's hometown Verizon store, is a proud sponsor of the Central Riverhawks. Find Team Wireless in the Three Rivers Plaza on Copeland Avenue, next to Festival Foods. Go Hawks!
All right, totals tonight as the Holmen Vikings sweep the Central Riverhawks 25-18, 25-21, 25-11. As I mentioned, 3 total ties in the match, 20 kills for the Riverhawks, 3 aces, plus 2 blocks. Actually, that was 3 blocks because Crawford had one more late in the match, so she ended up with 2. She also had 2 kills, 3 for Freed, 3 for Gearhard, 3 for Brixon. Shield with 8. She was the team high. Weezy also had 1. And Erickson, Shield, and Brixon all had aces. On the other side for the Holmen Vikings, 40 kills for them is what I had. I had 10 aces. I lost track of their blocks. I forgot to write several down early in the match, so I never had those. Led by Casey and Olson, both with 11. Jar had 9, and Teff with 7. Also 4 aces on the night for Macy Klein. So tough night for the Riverhawks, trying to overcome a very good quality Holmen team that's rated in Division I, number 7, and they're off to Kettle Moran coming up for their weekend tournament. They actually go tomorrow. The Riverhawks will wait till Saturday for DeForest. Little regroup. I think there's a lot to look at, especially on film when it comes to set number 2, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the blueprint there. 1 and 3, number 1 came out slow, can't do that against a really good team. Number 3 just played like you were deflated, can't do that. But that second set is where you got to look on the film and see what were we doing right and how can we replicate that as we move forward.
We will move forward with football tomorrow night against Onalaska. Our warm-up show will start right around 6:45, and that's when we'll bring you the warm-up, and then 7 o'clock is the kickoff. I do want to make mention that the cross-country team is at Luther College on Saturday, and the boys soccer team also has New Richmond noon on Saturday, so they've got a big one. They also had West Salem tonight, so they've been in action. Coach Lyon, of course, joined us earlier on with those coaches' interviews. Nami's been taking care of some player stuff. Those will be coming back next week. Football tomorrow night. We thank you so much for Ray George and Nami George. I'm Joel McCall. The Holmen Vikings improved their record to 11-1, 5-0 in the conference. Riverhawks now 4-8 and 1-3. Thank you for tuning in here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel. Good night.